Joining us today in the kitchen is Liam Neeson.
He's in Taken 2 on Friday. It debuts Friday. He's got a particular set of skills. If you ever find yourself in an abduction situation, he would be helpful. Let's talk to Liam, get to know him a little bit. What is the line, if you're walking through an airport and somebody recognizes you, that you get hit with the most often?
Usually it's to do with the first Taken film. I will find you, I will kill you, or from a Clash of the Titans, you know, release the Kraken, I sometimes get. Quite a few times, actually.
That would get annoying, though, a little bit. If the guy thinks that he's doing it for the first time and you're at a urinal and he's hitting you again with Release the Kraken and you've heard it only 1,000 times in your life or 1,000,000 times?
Well, if it annoys me, I'll say, wow, that's original. But that's about the extent of it.
Did you see that at all coming? Like if I had asked you many years ago, hey, action star, this is where you're going to end up, action star, would you have said, yeah, that's probably so?
No, not in a million years, David. Not in a million years. I mean, I was 55 when we made the first Taken film, and I'm 60 now, so it's surprising, flattering. And I'll keep doing them until my knees buckle.
It's got to be a cool feeling, though, right? Late in life, all of a sudden, you are universally known as a badass, a man's man, someone to be feared.
I'm just a big teddy bear, David.
What would you say was a job that you had before you realized that acting could be the career that was the worst job you ever had?
Well, I tried to be a teacher. I trained to be a teacher for 2 years, many years ago, and that's probably the most difficult job I've ever tried to master. I have 2 sisters who have just retired after 34 and 35 years teaching. I have so much admiration for them. I found it impossible to teach 12, 13-year-old boys and girls. It's really, really difficult.
What was the worst day on the job that you remember?
A kid pulled a knife on me once
no.
at school, teacher training. He was a big guy too. He was about 15 years of age, but it was like, wow. So I had to punch him, you know, and then I was reprimanded for hitting the kids, you know.
What is the backstory on this? I mean, what happened to lead to this?
I was, you know, sometimes with classes of kids, depending on the school, of course, there's a discipline. There's always a discipline problem. So it's getting them to settle down before you can actually start to teach them, you know. And this particular kid just didn't want to settle down, and he wanted to disrupt the whole class, you know. So I went over to him and asked him to leave the classroom, stand outside, and the next thing he pulled a knife on me, you know. And my immediate reaction was to punch him, which I shouldn't have done, but I felt threatened, so I punched him.
My father has a question for you. Go ahead, Dad.
Do you have any good tips for me if my 43-year-old son is taken?
Yeah, call the police. Call the authorities.
What a wimp move. What are you talking about? You gotta help me out.
After all the experience you got making the movie, you gotta do better than that, no?
Sorry, call the authorities.
Liam, thank you for being on with us. We appreciate the time.
Thanks, David. Take care.
Gracias.
Gracias.
I love that he calls me David.